I think it's time for that new challenge. So I'm putting it out there. And the challenge is to make a homemade screwdriver. You see, out of a bolt. That's the key. Or you can make it out of any rod that you have or whatever. You saw the grinding procedure. You saw the sanding. You saw you could do it with a file. No special tools needed. You could use an old file handle. You could pull a handle off of an old screwdriver. I showed you how to do that on the video. If you have an old screwdriver that's worn out, just pull it off the shaft, pull the handle off the shaft, and drill it out, and put the bolt in and glue it in. And let's everybody make a screwdriver, flat bladed. Unless you're super talented, you want to make a Torx or a Torx or a Phillips. That's pretty hard. Roberts wouldn't be that hard, but let's do that. So I'll give it you till May 1st. Is the cutoff day. May 1st, that's a month from today. You got 1 month. Now the problem when you have a month away, you know, a lot of guys procrastinate, you know. Some guys won't even pick up the project until, you know, 3 weeks in. And don't send any, I'll have information on where to send your photos to, but that won't be until the third week. The third week. So don't send me anything in a week from now and say I finished, because it'll get lost and you'll say, what happened? My picture's not there. So a new challenge, make your own screwdriver, preferably out of an old bolt, and by May 1st. I think it'd be a great challenge. I'd love to see the kind of handles you come up with, the repurposing, or make your own handle, or you know, you could carve it out of a piece of, you don't need any special tools. You can do everything with a file and a drill press or a drill, whatever. So let's get that done. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again on Wednesday.
No big distractions. We've got all weekend now to mess about and do what we want. I've got loads to do, loads to tell you. Oh, we've gotta do that, haven't we? The Scout Crafter make a screwdriver challenge to do. I have got a confession to tell you.
Going good for you this week. I was very excited to hear everybody's enthusiasm about the new challenge coming up, about making a homemade screwdriver, mostly from scratch, as much as you can do. I'm expecting a lot from the creators out there. You know, this is a good challenge for you to show your skills, and for people that just, you know, want to get back into the shop. Spring is coming. A lot of people had cold weather and couldn't get in their shop. This is going to be a great time to knock something out. And I have to tell you one thing, and this holds true, of everything I own, to me, my most cherished items are ones that I made throughout the years. So no matter how nice, something could be worth hundreds of dollars that I restored, and it means I'd rather have something that I built, you know, especially going back to that first keyboard that I made for my grandmother back when I was like in my early teens, one of my first projects. That to me has so much value. And I'm sure that things that you make will have the same value for you. You just got to make something. If you make one item a year, in 10 years, you got 10 items to look back on, you know. So I'm looking forward. We're going to have a lot of fun with that project. For today,
Scout Crafter challenges, don't we? We do. Do you remember we made this, didn't we? A locking device for the blade, the hacksaw blade. 4x2 car, yeah, the 8 cylinders, and it passed the Carwow test. Look. That's no fake exhaust, that's a real exhaust, that is, yeah. So it passed the Carwow test, and we did, and that is me driving, because I can tell you why, because you can see my little baldy head on the top, look. So, yeah, that's me driving the 4x2 Gravity car. The bread knife, the wavy bladed bread knife, I got selected to send, thank you Ben, John sent it to Ben and Ben sent it to me, and we had to make a handle, and of course it had to be a nut and bolt handle, didn't it? It had to be a nut and bolt handle. So I've sort of been there now. I've put a nut and a bolt in. Yeah, so what's this next handle going to be? What was I thinking about the next handle? And I am Mr. Bodger, Mr. Welder, Mr. You know, I'm not very good at, so how are we going to push ourselves onto the next level, shall we say? So, as you know, I am a bit of a fanboy when it comes to box spanners. Everybody disregards them, everybody throws them away, oh, in the bottom of the box they go. But I am a box spanner fan. I never pass by a box spanner. Well, anyway, of the recent arrivals, look at this monster that arrived. Wow, look at this one. I happened to pick it up and I thought, well, that's a handle, isn't it? That's a handle. These holes are going to be a problem. They rip your hand. What are we going to do? We're going to fill them, and is the is the filling going to stick? How are we going to deal with them? There's two of them. One side, one the other. I was thinking, basically, of hammering some wood in there, making a hole, sticking a bolt in it, and there's your handle. Voila. Yeah, maybe something like that, or yeah, using a bolt. Coach bolt should be nice and big. Get a washer, and those. Can we go down the path of? We could go down the path of welding that, making it go in the hole. The thing is with welding is you're adding to it. So we could weld that and cut it all off and grind it. And we could put that through the wood, through the middle, do something like that. But on a much bigger scale, I want something that you might sort of hammer at the end. We've got to find a bigger, fatter washer than that. Maybe this might be the one. This might be the beauty. Yeah, we put this in there. We find the appropriate, or even just weld that to there. We could weld that to there, couldn't we? Get the wood, stuff the wood in there, drill a hole down the middle of the wood. So that's there, sitting in the middle-ish, well, a Reggie middle. And we could weld that on there, couldn't we? And then we could hammer it. That's sorted. And it would be quite a meaty, we could put a screwdriver end on there. I'm not really mad keen, I'd like it the other way around. Possibly. Are we brave enough? To cut that end off and re-weld it onto here? And then do it that way. We could cut that end off, couldn't we? And we could weld that end back onto this end, couldn't we? And we could put it in that way, and then so all that thread would disappear up into the handle, wouldn't it? Yeah, maybe that's the way to go. Yeah, and then we could weld that end onto there. These holes, how are we going to deal with these holes? Cleaned up, we're getting ready, we're getting the parts ready to make the screwdriver. And we found the size here, 1/2 inch, and we found the size here, over here, look, 5/10 or 5 whatevers, Whitworth, but look at this. Oh, are we going to use, we found the broad arrow. Now is that an RD or a KD? What is that? Let's have a look at that. Is that an R or a K? Definitely the broad arrow, but it's got something with a full stop on the end, doesn't it? It's the only box spanner so far that I've got with a broad arrow on. Shall we use it? Shall we use it? What shall we do? I mean, it's beginning to get a split here, look. But no worries. It's only, could be an handle. Yeah, we're going to use it. But look at that. Of all the ones I'd use, is the ones with the broad arrow on it. I'm going to cut the head off that, won't we? So I've decided, oh, that's still a bit warm. I've decided the best chance, I mean, I could have cut it off and then welded around it, But me and ending up straight is a problem, isn't it? So I'm going to try and do my best. So what I'm going to do now, what I've decided to do, is do a half and half cut. Halfway there, halfway there. That should marry up quite nicely. A valley into here and valley in. But up here, again, we've put a valley in. And we're going to grind on top of it. So it's going to be gripping there. It's going to be burnt into the surface here. We might leave this proud a bit and sticking out, or whatever. Now, that's held that end, so let's work down this end and see if we can get some welding going on here. Get this. Yeah, we can build on that now, can't we? Build it and then grind it back. But of course, can you see now how much better of a grip it's got, rather than just on the surface? But we will burn down this middle now. We'll make a burn down the middle here. Big blob on it. Let's look a bit closer. Hold on. Let's see if we do. Oh. What's it doing? Come on. Yeah. So yeah, fill that valley in a little bit. Top that up. Yeah. Top this valley in. Give that another. Put some more weld in there. Turn that as one piece. Weld this inside here, aren't we? So we're going to weld this to there. Follow that all the way around. You see all the threads disappeared. So that's going to be a nice job. Turn that into a screwdriver. We're getting there. We're getting there. We've just got to now glue the wood in. Make that sit on there. Make this come out of here in the middle of the handle. I've got to. I don't think the post. That's not an option. I don't think the post will be quite that quick to send this over to Scoutcraft to get it pushed in there with the dake. And then we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and hammer the holy hell out of it. Reggie, you silly Billy! Too impatient. Look. Oh, damn. We knew it was cracked, didn't we? Oh, we should have been a bit more patient. So now we've not only got to, repair that now, haven't we? Oh, silly sausage. Yeah, that's tomorrow's game. Repair that, and then grind that down. I thought, no. For now, I'm just going to tack it, and then I'll show you. I've come up with a plan for this. Well, I think so. I've changed my mind. Sometimes it's worth leaving a thing, walking away and coming back to it. This is where we want it to be, which is sort of feeling even and the same all the way around, not too much on one side. So now we can get in there, whop a weld on it, hold it in place and then carry on. I know you don't believe me, but we're building it up. There's the crack. Well, we're building it up so that we can knock it all back down again. And I haven't even strained the shaft yet. I haven't touched the shaft, I've only just done the top. So there's the top, there's the bottom. Ooh, it's hot. Pushing, blah, blah, blah. I've got a long way to go, but it's going to look like this when it's finished. Sort of take them pecs out, get the flap disc out on there, get the fibre wheel, polish that all up. It's going to look as one. Yeah, so we start with that, don't we? An unholy mess. So obviously we've had a good burn here, and that's going to be great. Good burn there, that's going to work out okay. So this top will look as one when I've finished it. Well, that's the plan anyway, that's the Reggie plan. It's the same here now. We'll do the same with this. And we'll grind this off wherever we've missed, wherever there's a hole, wherever we got to make up. We burned through there, haven't we? So we're going to make that up and grind it back, make it all nice and smooth, yeah. Sun goes here. If we get a right good grip on it.
I don't know if it would cut your hands working it all the time, but it's not a working tool, is it? It's more of a demonstration. Flat disc, more sanding. Trouble is, I don't really like doing it because you don't know how thin you're welding it. All of a sudden it'll go crack because you've welded it too, you've ground it down too much. So there's a balance between leaving material there and sealing the hole. See a little pick there. You go after that pick, it would end up a big crack, wouldn't it? You're as well off just welding some in it over the top, taking it off again. And I'm really pleased with down here. You'd hardly know where that split was now, would you? So where was that split? Where was that crack? Crack's been dealt with more or less. Yeah, I think you can see here, look, that's where the crack was. Came up here, didn't it? Came across here where the dip was. Get rid of that little peck there. Keep hitting this. I want to keep them as they are, so I might take them out. I want to warm it and bash it and then put an end on it. Anyway, I've done a little bit more. Home early, go a bit more on it. And then maybe forget the concrete, we don't want to know about sand and cement, we want some heat, and we want some flame, and we want some bashing action. Okay, let's crack on then. It's doing more damage to the anvil than what it's doing to that. Maybe I'm not. It's glowing pink red. When I go indoors on the anvil, it's not red, hot red. I might not have those set quite right, and they've not got a lot of power, and this thing might be really hard, that bolt. But anyway, we're sort of getting there. Thinner, it's going to move around, need correcting, so I was thinking, I don't really want to go much further. No, it's pretty much in the middle of the shaft, isn't it, the tip? And at least now it's got a screwdrivery looking end, if you get what I mean. Because it's going to be driving big heavy screws, isn't it? So, now, probably to the hammer marks. Come to the hammer marks with a flat disc. And then, it still looks pretty central to the shaft, doesn't it? The end of that, where it runs out, is looking pretty level, isn't it? Oh, blimey, I might have done a half-decent job for a change. I'll grind, do whatever's got to be done here. It's an idea, you know. I could just cut the whole thing backwards because there's a nut. We'll put a weld in here, we'll weld in there. We'll fill all these holes in now with the welder. Just keep burning, and then we'll come back and we'll grind it all off and we'll put a nice big weld in there, won't we? Aren't you? And melting it all as one. So now we're going to all cut it all back now and see what it looks like. So it's, you know, welding, if you haven't got an El Cheapo welder, I think I'd give 30 quid for it. Go and get an El Cheapo second-hand welder. You'll have loads of fun and you'll be able to make loads of stuff with it. Yeah, so you see the heat, I've got a big burn in that one. Come on. Yeah. We what did we do? We had a bolt, didn't we? And we swapped over the head of it. We bashed that and we welded the end onto there and we married that together. Oh, there's the light. Yeah. Is that too much? It's gone a bit blurred, isn't it? We married it, there we are, it's getting together. We married it together, didn't we? Yeah. And we kept the broad arrow. We kept the broad arrow, wow. I'm really pleased, yeah. And we did this, didn't we? I mean, you could go a bit more on it if you wanted to. Weld a bit more just to make that into one solid piece. But for what we wanted to do, it's going to be just fine, isn't it? Could do with a slight burn there. Grind it all back. But I mean, for a Reggie standard, I'm happy now it's flayed the end off a bit. Yeah, And don't tell me you don't know of a screw big enough for